How's it going, people, and welcome back to the GalacticOz Podcast. Now, Hasib thought, the manager put me on the bench for one game, and he got excited. He's like, "Oh, I'm wearing number 10. I'm starting. I'm leading the team." Hey, bro, I was just gonna tell you something. I just had a family meeting. I had to come back, bro. I had to come back. There's no way.
Wasn't that bad?
No, just joking. Man. No, but Hasib, you did a brilliant job, bro. Last episode, man. Like it felt natural, it felt good, and Boovie, as well as he's like, he's very like kind of raw and just like dry when it comes to the whole thing. It's easy to kind of manage because like you can just ask him the question and he'll just go in. It didn't come out with anything controversial. You know what I mean? So
I mean, he did. He said Anderson's better than Declan Rice. He did say that.
That was ridiculous. But I was.
That's not surprising from Boovie.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't the worst thing I've ever heard him say. Like I thought he was gonna say some wild shit, but it was okay. But today we've got a fan of the show. We want to say a family member of the show as well. He's having trouble with his camera right now, but he'll be back.
Sorry, I had a phone call. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Worst timing.
This always happens when he's on the show, by the way. That happened to him last time as well.
So weird.
So
and I'm never up at these times normally, so it's definitely weird for me to get phone calls.
Well, guys, you see him right in front of you. He is the man, the one, the only, Suga Shaun, coming for his third appearance on the GalacticOz Podcast and wearing his lovely England shirt today because it's a big day. It's a big day, man. Well, lads.
Do you know, Adam?
Yeah.
The first time I saw Suga Shaun on thing, it was one of the most hilarious clips that I've ever seen, bro. Because you know what? This guy did one of those, the guess the player one where you give 3 clues and then you guess the player. And one of his clues, bro, was, because you gotta be somewhere close to actually guessing the player. This guy's clue, one of the clues was, I went to therapy when I was 10 years old. I'm like, what are you? How would you guess it, bro? And then he had a few howlers where he just got the clues mixed up with the player.
Yeah.
And then they had the entire thing.
You know what the funniest thing was? I wasn't like rushed for that either. I was planned. So for me, getting the other stuff mixed up was shocking.
Yeah, it was with Liban as well. I remember Liban Shark. It was just hilarious, bro. Like it was just funny as.
The therapy one was because you know what it is. I used to get bored of it. I'm like, everyone's using. I've won 3 Champions Leagues. I've won 2 FA Cups. I'm like, I need to think of something funny here, man.
Yeah, that was hilarious. They couldn't get any more fun, any more niche than that, bro.
That's what I'm saying, Sean, bro. You've got legacy on the football internet meme culture, bro. Like there's people out there that want to watch you make content, bro. You should definitely come back, bro.
100%. Hopefully next season I'll be uploading.
Inshallah. But today, lads, we've got 1 match to react to and also 2 games to look forward to. And we know what we do here best. We always like to start with Hasib because Hasib is always out here, with the hot takes. As soon as the game is over, he's dropping his videos on Instagram. So, Hasib, the last time I was here, I criticized Lamine Yamal, and you guys said I'm too harsh. You guys said that, hey, maybe you're expecting a bit too much. Maybe like the pressure, like you're expecting way too much from this 19-year-old. Now I told you it's not that I'm expecting too much, but I've seen him play better, and I know he can deliver more. Now this is his what? This is his 5th game, is it? His 5th game, I believe. Oh, he didn't play the first game. 4th game, I think. Yeah. 4th game. And still the same kind of performances and output that he's been having throughout this entire time. He's still got 1 goal, no assist. And he's definitely creating chances. He's putting some shots, to the goalkeeper to try and make something happen. But it's not the Lamine Yamal that we see in the Champions League, bro, or week in, week out at Barcelona. It's not the same guy that I expected to grab, the World Cup by the scruff of the neck, just like Erling Haaland, Mbappe, even Elise, Messi, of course. His Harry Kane, like he's not doing that. And for some reason, I see a lot of people pointing to the Spanish team as the reason why he's like he doesn't fit the style, he doesn't fit this team for whatever reason. But you got to remember the guy's still coming back from injury. However, I just want to say I thought today was the day we're gonna be like Lamine arrived at the World Cup, but he hasn't. And next game he's got probably the game where it's do or die pretty much. If he doesn't deliver, Spain's going out. There's no way that they're gonna survive this. But we'll start with that. What did you think of Lamine Yamal's performance and overall Spain's performance? Because that was the first goal conceded apparently in this tournament. to Belgium. But overall, we wanted Belgium out. We said we needed a break from them for another 2-3 World Cups. We had enough. But overall, your I guess your analysis of the game. What did you think? Anything that stood out to you? And Mikel Merino, bro, that nigga needs to start striker for Arsenal from now on.
Yeah, bro. I mean, when it comes to Lamine Yamal, like the thing with him is that I feel like Spain is so one-dimensional, bro. Like going forward, it's just the one thing again and again and again. So for me, it's like even if he was at his best, he would have done a little bit better than what he's doing right now. But I don't think he would have done what we saw in Euro 20, like the previous Euros, where he just completely blew everyone out of the water with him and Nico Williams. But for me, it's just that Spain is so one-dimensional that every single time they go forward, it has to go through Lamine Yamal. And then it's so easy to double up, triple team on the right-hand side that there's no more options to do that. And if it's not Lamine Yamal, it's no one else. The striker is not that kind of striker that would drop in deep and like carry and dribble and, you know, might create something out of nothing. He needs Lamine Yamal to be able to perform well for him to excel as well. And I feel like the same thing as well. I think De La Fuente put Fabian Ruiz in, and I think it really paid off. I think the midfield battle was won. It did really well, and he got his goal as well. But with the Lamine Yamal conversation, I don't feel like we'll see the same Lamine Yamal because it's just that Spain is too one-dimensional, bro. And then you already spoke about my boy, obviously, Shaun. If you don't know, I'm an Arsenal fan. And I think this man right here, this guy's 28 years old or something, yeah? 28, 29. He needs to refigure out what position he's playing in. Because I've never seen this before. Someone so positionally aware, someone so has that knack to get a goal, has that knack to get a tap in, and he's always pops up in these positions that a striker pops up in. Because how are you getting to that? I know Lamen's fumbled the ball a little bit, but bro, like he was quick to it, bro. And then the previous one against Portugal, that was just textbook Mikel Merino. He's just, and it's not like he's getting a full half an hour to work with or 15 minutes or even 10 minutes. He's coming after the 85th minute, bro. And twice he's delivered in the knockout stages, which is absolutely phenomenal. But obviously, Belgium, look, there's not much to say. I think Belgium started off really well, but I think faded off, and then Spain really took over, and they didn't really create much. The XG was really low, and they did take the goal really well, but I think it was a bit of a mistake from Kobasi as well. I think he should have done better in that goal. But overall, I'm very happy that Belgium's out, to be honest, because I'm sick and tired of them. I think Senegal handed them the win, and I'm very happy that I'm past this goal generation. Honestly, it's sad to see because honestly they could have done. They could have done bits with Eden Hazard, you know, Michy Batshuayi up top, and like, you know, Kevin De Bruyne in his prime. But I think Belgium's gone. But I think Spain, you're right. I think you're 100% right. I think Lamine Yamal needs to really step up now in this next game, because if he doesn't perform in the next game, I feel like even if he performs, I think France is just too good, bro. But then that's a conversation for later on. Overall, I'm happy, but Mikel Merino, he's got to rethink. But Mikel Arteta needs to rethink where to put him, because there's no way you're going to put him in the central midfield, especially when we got Bruno Guimaraes there now. So he needs to come off as striker. Gyökeres might have to hold the bench for a while. I don't know, but Mikel Merino is absolutely phenomenal, bro.
Now, Shaun, there's a few talking points here. Like even Hasib mentioned it. First of all, are we starting Merino, or are we taking off Olmo? Because I feel like Olmo's been decent. You know what I mean? Another one is Pedri or Fabian Ruiz. That's another conversation to be had. And Nico Williams, like, is it time that he got a start in this lineup, in the Spanish lineup?
See, what Hasib mentioned is, it's just like, I feel like as if something sounds very similar to what club football is like. So obviously with Barcelona, it's like the style in which they play. It's just very weird for Spain to go away from what we've known to be a very functional team in terms of free flowing and relying on people and knowing that you can rely on individuals to be able to create in certain areas. And it's not like as if they don't have quality in certain areas. And I feel like that's why everyone is starting to hone in on, like, looking at the performances from Pedri and Lamine Yamal, because it's not just Lamine Yamal that's been criticised. A lot of me and my friends have been saying, well, we might have to have some uncomfortable conversations about Pedri soon, because the performances for what we know that he can play with, like the performance that he can play under, it's just not the same. Like you said, it looks like as if it's Lamine or bust at times. And I know Lamine is special, but to create from wide areas, you need, like, everyone else is flourishing in their teams in terms of scoring goals. Look at the list. You got Mbappe, you got Haaland, but they're all mainly central area players. So for Lamine Yamal to have to be able to create as much as he does out wide, lacking that focal point up front has actually cost him. And that's why with that Mikel Merino inclusion, he's got that knack for being where he needs to be in central areas. Like Oyarzabal is not really a striker, so having a focal point to kind of be fearful of, you need that kind of there, and that's why all the strikers I think are flourishing under their teams in the tournament. Obviously, they've got very good players around them as well. Don't get me wrong, like France got great players around. England have got kind of okayish kind of players around. I don't think they're great like that. I think Noni Madueke early in the tournament weren't great, and I think Gordon wasn't great in the tournament. And like obviously Haaland doesn't have the craziest of creators for him, but somehow he scores goals. But I feel like it's just a wide area problem. But it's you can well, Messi plays on the back line. He also drifts out wide. Messi's a bit of an alien, I think, personally, to compare. But those are the kind of numbers and standards that we're trying to put Lamine on. So for people putting him under pressure of he needs to produce the goals, because I don't think Lamine is going to be that player in the future. I don't think he's going to be because it feels like as if we're in the kind of era of Mbappe is more like Cristiano Ronaldo and Lamine is like Messi. And I feel like that's the comparison of rivalry we're putting them on, where one's more technically skillful, easy on the eye. The other one is more ruthless, pace, power, gets the job done, basically. So I feel like we're unfairly kind of putting Lamine into a category. I feel like he pours more into the Neymar category than anything. Numbers won't necessarily be crazy, but performances will be great to watch, and he is still effective. But I just feel like in this Spain team, I feel like they need a focal point up front, and it's just weird to see Spain, who's known for a style of football, go away from free-flowing football to just looking for Lamine Yamal bust, just like Barcelona.
Yeah, it's such a weird thing. Yeah, go for it.
Are we being a bit harsh on like playing devil's advocate? I agree with what Shaun said. I think being so one-dimensional, but that tiki-taka football that they did in Euros, I know it was tiki-taka, but it was tiki-taka with a purpose. It was passes with a purpose, not just for the sake of what Portugal did with Vitinha, Bruno, just moving the ball side to side. They were actually progressing the ball forward, breaking in lines and stuff. But are we being a bit too harsh? Because you don't have to be the best team to be able to progress, right? Like, I mean, they've beaten Portugal, now they're beating Belgium. So it's like they are progressing through. They are going through. They are finding ways to get wins, and that's what I mean. I mean, like they don't really need to be the perfect team in order to like get a result out of France. But I feel like I don't know. Like I just feel like maybe we're being too harsh. Maybe looking at the other side of things. But do you guys agree? I don't know.
I think they're too super heavy on possession based, where they don't want to turn over the ball as much, because obviously they've got a great clean sheet record, and it's not to say that they've not had focal points in the past and succeeded. Like they've had Fabregas play in the Ghost Nine and looked amazing with their team. So it's not like as if they need to have a focal point to create and play good football. But it's just, I don't know, maybe it's the modern day era football and the shift in how we play nowadays is why you need to have a focal point up front. Or it's not like as if they don't have individual talent. Like Pedri is classified as one of the best centre midfielders in the world. So, and he looks like a hybrid of Iniesta and Xavi, where he can dictate and he can also create and he can dribble. So I just find it very weird for why Spain are not able to utilize a lot of the talent that they have in that team to be able to create and look dangerous in other areas. Because once you look like as if you're one side or bust, like you said, you can triple up and double up on people, and it becomes very hard, especially out wide, further away from the goal, to be able to influence scoring and assisting.
I don't think we're being very harsh, Hasib, to answer your question, because remember we're talking about the Euro champions here. Like they're not some nobodies here, and also the expectations that we have of these guys. Like potentially they have the best player in the world playing with them. You know what I mean? So like we always gonna have the expectations regardless of who they are or how many top players they have. Like, and their team is decent. It's not like it's rubbish. But also, it's the Portugal thing. Yeah. Our expectation of Portugal, because of the lineup that they had, the players that they've got in their squad, of course, we're going to be like, of course, they're favorites or they're one of the favorites. And if they don't deliver, then we're not being too harsh. Because I don't think we were.
Yeah. They are the biggest frauds. They are the biggest frauds.
Absolutely.
They are the biggest frauds.
Conversations, Shaun. Absolutely, so many conversations, bro. Because don't even get us started on Portugal. We're gonna go somewhere else because, bro, all of them are on fraud watch, bro. I'm sick and tired of this country. Bro, I'm not even Portuguese, but I feel like they let me down, bro. They let me down every single time. But I don't even want to go there. But like, I think you're right, Azam. I think I'll concede the point where I think Lamine Yamal cannot have it both ways. Like, if we perform as well, we classify him as the best player in the world. But then if he doesn't, then we're like, oh, he's only 17, he's only 18. He can't have it both ways. So I guess against France, I feel like the only thing that's going to win them something, bro, is individual brilliance. And Lamine Yamal has to step up because that France team. First of all, I don't want to be boring, but I feel like nobody's stopping this France team, bro. Nobody. I don't care what's happening on the other side. And I feel like even in a one-off final, I just feel like this France team is just way too strong to be able to, or like, you know, for anyone to beat them. But I don't know.
I didn't have a chance to say something in yesterday's episode, but yeah, I think I have to just echo what you just said there. Like this French team, because yesterday I wasn't part of the episode, Sean, but like this team is unbelievable, bro. This team, I was watching the game yesterday, and I was like, is this the best national team we have ever seen in a World Cup? And and if you look at history, you're like, oh, okay, some people are obviously gonna bring, if you want to really bring it back, 1970 Brazil. Some people are gonna say the 2002 Brazil, maybe even 1998 France. But other than that, maybe the Spain 2010 is the one that's closest to me, and I can be like, okay, because that is a dominant team, World Cup Euro. But I've never seen a team in the world, even Spain in 2010. I remember they beat Germany 1-0, you know, and it was a Puyol header from a corner. You know what I mean? I don't think that's ever going to happen with this French team, bro. They're still
have we seen? The question is have we seen France really tested? That's. I feel like they've got away with playing a couple teams that I feel like I don't know why they like. Morocco came with a brand of football into the World Cup, totally shifted away from their football to try and play haram football against them, and I didn't understand it. Like you play Bouadi, who's a productive, dictating midfielder. You choose to play haram ball with a more creative, more possession-based team. But then when you need 2 goals, you bring on Sofiane Amrabat. It doesn't make sense to me. So it's like, I don't feel like they've been tested because I feel like in transition, especially in the third game in the group stages when they played, who did they play in the third game again? Sorry.
Sweden.
Was it Sweden? It was Sweden, yes?
I'm pretty sure,
in the group stage?
Yeah, it was in the group stage. They played third game, but they were already qualified. No, it wasn't.
Norway.
It was Haaland. It was Norway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Norway. So they played Norway. But I just feel like in transition, Luca Digne or Theo Hernandez, whoever it is that plays left back, they probably start Luca Digne. And I feel like Koundé is able to get at. So it's like, when you look at them, they're heavily attacking based. And obviously, they're very, like, obviously everyone has to be fearful of the front four. But I feel like against good sides, I feel like they're going to be able to get hit with transitions. And if you've got good players out wide, I feel like they can definitely be got at. So I think reservations have to be held on if they're one of the best World Cup teams to be seen. But
you know what, Sean? Like I would have kind of agreed with you there. First, I think the last game was against Sweden. I think you're right, Hasib. But I'll tell you what, I don't want it to be a thing of because if you're gonna say that, I don't think anyone in this World Cup can challenge them, even if they try to bring to them. You know what I mean? Like the final seems to be going towards France versus Argentina. Let's just say if whatever happens. Those are the 2 best teams, or like the 2 best performing teams. Even if you want to say Argentina can get whatever, you want to get into the whole politics of it and the controversies. But we haven't seen, besides Morocco, I wasn't impressed with anyone in this tournament besides Morocco.
I haven't been impressed with anyone, to be honest. I genuinely haven't been impressed with anyone.
You don't think France have been impressed?
I think they look good in terms of the way that how teams have allowed them to play, and I don't think you should ever let France. I don't think any team should be setting up to be defensive and part of the bus against France. I feel like you have to just play with them because France created chances anyway. They had the clean cut header at the back post with Upamecano. Desiree Doué dribbled through everyone somehow and just got into the area and should have probably scored. Mbappe had 2 chances with his penalty. I just feel like you have to pose a threat to yourself as well as
Sean, don't you think Paraguay is the only team that played the best haram ball and they were the closest to getting something out of it?
Because they're used to playing haram ball. So it's like they're used to set up being in compact and being defensive. So that frustrated France. So maybe a team that knows how to play that style of football and defend well might be able to frustrate France. But you still have to pose. Like, this is tournament football. Unless you just want to go to penalties... You need to pose some kind of threat because Morocco looked embarrassing the other night.
Yeah.
They had 0 pace to play on the counter. So having Brahim Diaz as your furthest forward player, and he's not even a tall player, how were you ever going to get out of that press and find an outlet? Like they actually done well in certain areas, to be honest, from Brahim Diaz, because He actually got into some spaces where he was able to hold up the ball in wide areas. But that kind of pace that they needed to kind of help from behind and overlap and stuff, it's like Hakimi, what we know Hakimi to do and see from Hakimi, we weren't able to see that at all because they literally just parked the bus and Hakimi hardly even went over the halfway line. So, yeah, I just feel like the France team, I feel like we haven't yet to see them. Obviously, the next game is the game. So it's like, even if it is only 2 games that we get to see them play against 2 big nations, probably, like, I expect England and Argentina to be able to battle it out in the semis. But yeah, hopefully we get to see what France are actually made of in terms of the team. Like we've had individual performances like Kone. Like I think Kone has been quite impressive throughout the tournament, and obviously eyes are on him to be bought from Roma for people like Man United who need someone like that, or anyone that needs a half decent 8 or 6 that can play in that kind of hybrid role. But yeah, like they've got good players in their team, and obviously we look at their individual, because that's what it is. We look at their team on paper and we're like, look at that front four, look how amazing it is. But when you look past that, Upamecano, we know we can get had at. Saliba hasn't been as locked down this season as he has been in the past, and I just don't think the fullbacks are that great. So I feel like any team without wide players can hit them in transition.
Yeah, I think that's the thing as well, Sean. I think it's very, very impressive for me. Like I know a lot of people were raving on about the fact that France's front 4, front 6, you know, the quality they can bring from the bench is very impressive. But there was also a question where can they actually gel together? And I think that's the myth that they've busted. The way they play with each other, the way they play, and it's like the stories about Mbappe, you know, the ego problems of, you know, Mbappe, this and that. And I feel like they're just playing together. The fact that they gel together. A lot of people have them as flops as well, because I don't know why some people have them as flops. Many people, the many predictions that I saw of the World Cup had them as flops. But in my opinion, they haven't really allowed a team to be able to do that. And I don't think I think Morocco, apart from Morocco, who gave them a lot of respect, in my opinion, they shouldn't have given that much respect. I just feel like the midfield of the double pivot of Kone and Rabiot, they've been, in my opinion, they've been doing well. And I feel like Saliba...
Did you not think Senegal posed them problems, though?
I think Senegal can cause anyone problems if they play, and Morocco as well. I think those 2 teams can cause anyone problems.
But the thing about France is, like, I feel like they don't have to be, like, they don't have to go through second gear to be able to, like, you know, blow teams out of the water. I just feel like the quality just overtakes, because that's what you need, individual quality in these tournaments, whether they gel together or not. But I think Spain, you're right, is the biggest test, because this is the first time we'll see a France side that's not dominating the ball. Like Spain will obviously dominate, win that midfield battle. Obviously, you would expect Rodri, Pedri, Olmo, or Fabio Ruiz to win that midfield battle against Rabiot or Kone. But I feel like this is the first time we'll see that. But I think like France, but Paraguay playing the fucking epitome of the haram ball. On top of that, then you have Morocco as well. Sweden's front 3 of Gyökeres, Isak, and Elanga. They're not that bad. They didn't pose any threat as well. So they've gone across like a lot of, you know, teams that play different style of football, and they've overcame them, like, you know, with the way they play. But I feel like if they go ahead and just dominate Spain and win 2-0 or 3-2 or 3-1, and then they go to the final and they win the final as well, this has to be the most dominant sort of tournament that they've actually played. But in terms of keeping them as the best, I feel like you can't look past like the Spain dynasty, because that was an actual dynasty from 2008 all the way to 2012. But I feel like if they win this and then they go ahead and do a madness in the Euros, they might be in that conversation of a Brazil, or might be in the conversation of a Spain. But they have to go through it. And I feel like so far they've been sublime, man. And it's been so fun to watch them, to be honest. But
also like, John, I don't know what it is, but I feel like people don't understand like how good this front line is. Like just that they've got 3 of probably the top 5 players in the world at the moment. That's crazy.
Well, the key to it, I think personally, is Mikel Olise. I think Olise being able to pop in, and I think you've seen it a lot, and he's done exactly what kind of Messi has done throughout his career, and be able to pull out in. Sometimes Mikel Olise is picking up in the defensive midfield role. He's picking up the ball on the right hand side very deep, being able to dribble past people, and people don't really want to press Olise because they know he can literally shift and dribble past people at the blink of an eye. And I think he's been a massive key factor for even Bayern Munich in the Champions League this season, and just how successful France have been. I think a lot of it comes from Mikel Olise, and it allows Mbappe to not have to be the focal point where they only want to just try and give the ball to Mbappe into his feet. Like Mbappe is making so many runs across that back line where normally he would just be given the ball at his feet. He doesn't need to be under that pressure anymore. Hence why Mbappe's flourished a lot with the amount of goals he scored in this tournament. It's literally, for me, it's been Mikel Olise, and not even the Ballon d'Or winner. Like we're not even talking about a person who won the Ballon d'Or.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
so
it's
like we said, we know what they pose as a threat going forward. It's just whether or not, I just want to see this team, see if they get tested like against the Spain where they don't have the ball. Let's see what they are able to do without the ball as much as they normally have, and let's see how good this defense is.
Yeah, and also another thing as well, as I'm sorry to cut you off, but I feel like when it comes to tournament football, I feel like you got to lean on your strengths. So like with England, you have Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham. People are like, oh, if you take away Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham, they're nothing. But stuff that, like, lean on your strengths. Yeah, you got Harry Kane. Yeah, you got Jude Bellingham. So you bet on your strengths. Spain, you've got Lamine Yamal. Great. If that's the only outlet you have, bet on your strengths. Same thing with France. And when it comes to strengths, they have the strongest of the strengths, bro. The front four is firing on all cylinders. Olise, Dembele, and as bad as Morocco were, defensive, the goals that they scored, France, was just individual quality outside the box. Both of them, Dembele as well as Mbappe. So I think you got to be able to bet on your strengths in these tournaments, man.
Yeah. One last thing, just with them, is that I don't want to bring it back to Portugal, but if any team you could have told me, any team before this tournament, which team can stop France? Wallahi, I'm not even joking. I would have said Portugal. I would have said Portugal. I would have put my entire bank account on Portugal to stop France. And even now,
but do you know what the funniest thing is? It's even in the Euros. Like obviously when I was in the house with the boys like Chunks and all them lot, we done a little sweepstake kind of draw, and I drew Portugal. And I'm talking about even for when Italy won the Euros in Wembley. I'm like, I had Portugal and I was like, I really don't want Portugal. Like, I've just not been impressed with this Portugal side for so long. So I'm just like, I swapped them for Italy. So Alfie, ex-Titino, that does obviously the football like drafts and stuff like that on FIFA. I said, Alfie, I'll swap you my Portugal for your Italy. He's like, yeah, 100%, 100%. And then we swapped, and then obviously I won the Euros with Italy, even though they beat England in the final. But yeah, like I've not been impressed with this Portuguese side for the longest, and having Roberto Martinez like literally ruined 2 generations of Belgium and now Portugal is horrific stuff. It needs to be studied.
Don't say his name anymore, Sean. Don't say his name on this podcast.
It's crazy.
He's banned on this podcast.
Bro, he ended the Portuguese squad, ended the Belgium squad, ended my goat as well, bro. Absolute trash. Get out.
We need him to sign for France, bro. I reckon that would be good for the rest of the world.
Find a way to ruin everything. How can you ruin the Champions League double pivot for like? We talk about individualism for like World Cups and stuff like that and Euros because they don't really get to play with them that much. Like the team doesn't really get to play. But having a double pivot of the European champions and the best number 10 in the world, arguably at the moment, you can't find a way to make that midfield work. It's criminal.
This is what I was saying the entire time as well. This wasn't like they haven't played before. Bro, this is not like Paul Scholes, Frank Lampard, and who's the other Donny? Steven Gerrard in the middle, bro, for France. And this is not that. You have 2 players that have won 2 Champions Leagues, bro. Like, then you have the so-called all-time top assist maker, bro. That fraud who's never delivered in a high-pressure moment, playing 1 game a week and calling himself an all-time assist maker. Get out of here, bro. If you look at Thierry Henry, if you look at Mo Salah, they had 21 assists from 2021 open play, bro. From open play, they had those assists. And you're telling me this guy who's taking like 45 set pieces and converting 20 into assists, you're going to call him an all-time top? Come on.
And who do they point to, Hasib? Who do they point to? Who's at fault?
Ronaldo. Everything's Ronaldo, bro. Everything's Ronaldo. Great. He posted an Instagram, bro. He posted an Instagram of him lifting the Euros because he's getting reached for it, bro.
Hey, you can't defend that. That's shameless. You can't defend
No. Why?
Hasib, are you serious?
How, bro?
Guys, we had the World Cup. He's talking about 2016. Guys, come on, bro.
Nah, he's just reminding people, bro. He's just reminding people. That's what he's reminding. He's reminding people that they've won something, bro.
Just so you know, Hasib here is literally so close to being Ronaldo's lawyer at this point. Wallah lazim. The man at times he's defended this man.
Frank would be fuming. Like, obviously, on the Bench podcast, Frank's a big Man United fan, but he's a big Bruno Fernandes fan. And I keep getting into arguments with him all the time. And I'm like, brother, please. You have to understand this. It's Bruno's fault as well at the same time, and he just shifts around it. But I don't know how Ronaldo gets blamed for some of the productivity that goes around for like literally strikers. Haaland doesn't hardly touch a ball.
Yeah,
we don't blame Haaland for not getting involved in the game. Do you get it? So.
All right, let's move on from that. We always seem to come back to Ronaldo every single podcast. The guy's got knocked out like 2 rounds ago, bro. Enough, man. Khalas. We got to move on. All right. Guys, we got to look forward to the next 2 games. First of all, Argentina against Switzerland. Now, Sean, I don't know what your actual take is when it comes to this. Hasib, I think you're pretty even here when it comes to this whole Argentina getting favored in this tournament and what you think of it. I feel like I've heard what you had to say here, but Sean, what do you make of this this whole Argentina situation? Because they're not playing spectacularly. Like they're literally relying on one guy, and he's carrying the team. The one game that he didn't start, he was against literally no one's, and he even came on and then scored as well. But it's like they're playing against Switzerland now, which isn't a challenge. The entire bracket seemed to be just a cruise up until they play against the winners of Mexico versus England. And now here we are. We're against somehow Switzerland are in the quarterfinals of the World Cup, and Messi, 39 years of age, playing against them. Hey man, I don't want to say that this is going to be another one of those where Messi gets 2 goals and wraps it up, but it seems that way, and it seems like the whole tournament has been set up for Argentina to make it to the final. I don't know what your thoughts is with regards to this whole thing.
I think you'd be very surprised at what Switzerland's going to pose, to be honest. I think Switzerland are going to pose a very difficult threat for them to be able to break down. I think I've been impressed with Switzerland for the last 10 years in terms of how they play and how they set up, considering that all these other bigger nations than them haven't seemed to reproduce quality and stuff like that. Like the Belgian team, like now, I don't feel like it's anywhere near what it used to be. But Switzerland somehow find a way to be able to produce the same kind of quality in terms of what the team performs as, and they're very hard to break down. And I feel like, especially with Argentina, like you've said, I've not been massively impressed. Now, I've watched near enough every single game at this World Cup.
Nice.
I've not been massively impressed with Argentina. So I feel like you got to remember they play 4-4-2 with no width. Like their fullbacks are the only thing that could potentially give them some kind of width, and they don't even really pose that much threat down them sides. So it's like they literally overload their midfield. Enzo Fernandez is even playing out on the left-hand side most of the time, where he's just picking up the ball and trying to recycle the ball and hopefully find Messi in behind or Messi in the pocket. Like they've literally been relying on Messi's involvement, but I just don't feel like there's any kind of like conspiracy and stuff like that and favorite. Like I think the only thing that we've seen is the favoritism in that group stage game with the red card. I feel like that was
the Messi
definitely yeah, I feel like that was definitely something that should have been given a red card, considering what they've given over the tournament. Whether it be rescinded or not, that was way more intentional of knowing where he's planting his foot than a Balogun one, where Balogun got his red card and he doesn't even know where he's standing and he's just trying to plant his leg down to try and fall. So I feel like maybe in that kind of sense, I feel like people have definitely been thinking Argentina's been favoured.
Yeah.
If Portugal done their job and Portugal actually won their group, they would have had to go through that side of the bracket. So we would have had to see Argentina play a half decent side anyway. But yeah, they've like I would see it as England's had a favourable draw as well. Do you know what I mean? So I can't really say that Argentina's been favoured in terms of the draw. In terms of decisions on the pitch, I do think like in that previous game, I think the rule of I feel like they've gone to the letter of the law of how they set the rules out in terms of like if it's in that same progression of that one play, then obviously they can address it and say, right, this is a foul.
Yeah.
But I just feel like a foul in such a far up the pitch area where they have then had to go past 4 or 5 players is way too much to ask from someone if you've given a decision wrong. Like it's a foul. We all know it's a foul, but he's had to go through 4 or 5 players. I don't feel like that's the same phase of play when you've had to go and run through that many players. If you're on the halfway line and there's one person to break through, I understand. But that position on the pitch, if you haven't given the foul, I feel like that should have been given passed. So maybe you can talk about two different points of the tournament where they've been favoured. Don't know why that they've not given a decision against Messi, and I don't know why they've overturned that. Well, that's their rules, in it, so they've followed by their rules. But yeah, maybe just the Messi things. Other than that, I don't really feel like many decisions have gone their way. I feel like they've just played poor sides, and against them sides they've struggled.
Yeah.
Some of them they've struggled, like Cape Verde struggled. Like they haven't looked great for me personally. So that's why I have so much faith in the boys from England turning them over in the semis.
If we get there, if you had to, Sean, like, because you haven't said anything about Messi so far, but you don't think Messi, a 39-year-old Messi, can inspire a win here by himself against Switzerland?
Oh yeah, obviously, of course. The way that Argentina have set up is literally to get the best out of Lionel Messi, and the fact that he's able to be conditioned in him and still play like as if he's playing at the age of 28 is crazy. Like for him to be still pulling off into the areas, like I said with Michael Olise, pulling up into right back position sometimes and literally creating from out wide if he has to. Even the cross the other day for Enzo, was it Enzo Fernandez he assisted? Or the previous, like Enzo Fernandez, like he doesn't even need to be the goal scorer and the last line of the attack for him to run in behind. We've seen it with obviously the Cape Verde with the ball over the top, the unbelievable touch and the first time finish. He poses even that threat till now. And we've known Messi not to be the fastest, but just the smart areas that he picks up, Messi can unlock near enough any team. So you always have to be fearful of that. And they literally set up perfectly to just play for him and just play so congested. They got four midfielders playing across that whole midfield, and Lautaro Martinez just facilitating, bullying around people. Because that's another thing with Lautaro Martinez. I feel like it creates more of a balance for Messi for him to be starting, even though he's not better than Julian Alvarez. Like Julian Alvarez and Messi is what we probably all want to ask for and what want to see, because Julian's been so great this year in terms of as a striker. I think he's second best striker, I think, in world football. But for somehow the Argentinian kind of style, it doesn't really get the best out of Lionel. So I think like with the balance that they've set up, it's perfect for how they want to play.
Yeah. Hasib, you've been a man who enjoys Cristiano Ronaldo a lot, but at the same time, you don't hate on Messi, and you've enjoyed his output this World Cup. I think you still want Messi to go through, don't you?
Nah, I don't want Messi to go through. Not because of the fact that it's Messi. I don't want him to go through because of Argentina. I think corruption is a very strong word. I think rigged is a very strong word as well. But there's 100 favors, bro. I don't care what anyone says. You cannot convince me that this has not been set up. It's not been set up for Argentina to go through as far as possible as they can. I feel like that Egypt game, you can say whatever you want. Like, I agree with Shaun. It's so far back up to do that, bro. I cannot believe that you are going through the letter of the law when it comes to these bigger teams, bro. But if Egypt do the exact same thing, there's a very strong argument. I know hindsight's a great thing, but it's a very strong argument that they wouldn't do that for Egypt. No way they do that for Egypt, bro. Because man's going through 3 defenders, man. What are we doing here? And that ball as well, to be able to I cannot believe that. And also on top of that, there was 0 yellow cards given to Argentina the entire game. Because there were slaps on faces, there were studs up, tackles, there were clear-cut yellow cards, man. And then they were not given. And Infantino as well, the president himself. What did he say against Cabo Verde, bro? Against Cabo Verde, what did he say for Argentina? He's like, today I suffered with Argentina. You suffered with Argentina, bro. And then he caught himself, and he's like, but I'm a neutral. No, you're not, bro. No, you're not. You nas. You're not, bro. Shit, bro. It's such a bro. He's up there. He's celebrating like it's his own country, bro. And I'm like, what are you doing, bro? You're the president of FIFA. What are you on about? Why are you celebrating an Argentina win, bro? It's baffling to see. But I don't think it's corruption. I don't think it's rigged. But I feel like it's favored, bro. It's 100% favored. Do I think the Swiss can do anything against? I don't think so. I don't think so. As much as I would love to see that upset, I don't think so. But anything can happen. But I feel like if they go 2-0 up like Egypt did, I think Switzerland has a better chance to hold on that 2-0 lead. That's what I would say. But obviously they played 120 minutes against Colombia plus the penalties. You know, there might be some tied legs there as well, you know, but I'm not too sure. But I feel like Argentina go through, but I would love one upset that I would love would be this game.
Goodness me, that is the worst upset, bro. I do not want that at all. Now I don't.
No.
I wanted the last one. I wanted Egypt. That one I wanted. I would have celebrated like the gorillas. They wear the gorilla costumes. I would have done that here in Australia, bro. I swear to God, I would have loved that. Egypt beating Argentina. Or Capo Verde beating Argentina. That's beautiful. Switzerland, get out of here, bro. Nobody wants to see that.
That's what I mean. I'm not fearful of this Argentina side, man. But then it has been across most of the tournament where there's been a reluctance to give out yellow cards. I know that I know that Argentina haven't played the greatest of teams, so they've been in possession a lot of the time. But obviously in the last game, there was a bit more like fouls and slaps in the face and stuff like that. But it's just been a reluctancy of yellow cards. I feel like the English refs are the only ones that are dishing out yellows and reds. It's crazy.
Yeah, I would actually be very, very annoyed. It would actually probably ruin my day if Switzerland beat Argentina. I do not want that to happen.
Well, give me an easier route, boy. I don't mind. Give me
But
Switzerland.
to be
in the
honest,
semis,
Sean,
man.
like you must be buzzing, bro. Because if I told you, like, you're gonna get, Mexico, then you're gonna get Norway, bro. Like, the round of 16 quarterfinals, like, you'll be buzzing, man. The first probably tough team that you would have played would have been Argentina in the semifinals, which is absolutely great. So, I mean, you must be like,
Mexico is a heart attack, bro.
it's a heart attack. But then, bro, I
Mexico's
thought they
rough.
played so well against Mexico, bro. Like, Mexico was lackluster, out of ideas, bro. But defensively, bro, it was bread and butter for England. Truly diving into their identity, bro. Dan Burn, because he does this for a living, bro. Just heading the ball out.
Mr. Nine Fingers.
Yeah, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's like, it was just bread and butter for England. Bro, it was such, and the way they hyped up the game as well, Azteca, like, the stadium was in the moon or something with the altitude or whatnot. Bro, Jude, Bellingham, Harry Kane, everyone just ran the socks off, bro. But like, I think
let's get into that game, bro. Let's get into England's next game, and they are playing against Norway. Now, this is probably the most exciting game of the, even more exciting than the France Morocco one, honestly, because after what we saw with the France Morocco team, I was very, because, and I know for a fact Norway are not going to be doing that. They are not going to be playing haram ball against you guys. They're confident enough. They held possession, I think, against what's their name. They had more possession against Brazil, I think, 66 possession. So like they're not afraid. They're gonna come at you guys. And you guys, Sean, it's been the story of Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham throughout this entire tournament. And I don't know, bro. I am the rest of the team. It's not looking good. I'm not very impressed. But it seems like these two guys are very inevitable, especially Jude Bellingham, man. I think it's about time that this guy deserves his flowers, bro. Like he's so, like, he's just brave, bro. He does not hide, regardless of the occasion, how big it is, who he's playing against. He wants the ball. He wants to appear on the pitch. He's going to go in. He's going to get a yellow. He's going to go in. He's just going to have a scrappy game, even if he has a shit game. You know what I mean? And that's what I love about this guy, bro. And you know what? You're going to need that for this game against Norway, because up top, the whole team is very balanced, but up top, that guy just needs one chance, and that's it. He did it against Brazil. And I have a feeling he could still do it here. He's very familiar with some of your players. He plays against them week in, week out in the Prem. So I feel like this is going to be a very, very close game. If you think that Argentina-Switzerland is going to be close, I think this is going to be even closer. This, I reckon, I wouldn't be surprised if Norway comes out on top. And if they do, best believe I'm making a video. Dropping it right away. But talk to me, Sean. What are you thinking?
Like obviously with Jude, well, I'll start off with Jude, but I've been very skeptical of Jude over the past couple of years. I've never been one of his biggest fans, because I feel like the first time he was asked to come into Real Madrid and play that focal point and be up front, and I feel like it shifted his mindset into being a striker and loitering in spaces where he doesn't have to work as much. And I feel like that was kind of a bit of a burden on his second season, for where he has to now, right, I need to go back into midfield and I need to actually create and I need to play as a midfielder. So I've always been a bit sketchy about Jude Bellingham's performances in terms of what he puts in terms of effort. But there's been no debate about what he's put in this tournament for England. And you can't question him. And I hold my hands up for being wrong about Jude, but he's worked so hard and just so ruthless. And the way that obviously we play football now and how Tuchel's set us up to play, it gets the best out of Jude Bellingham being the furthest attacking midfielder and having someone in front of him to be a focal point like Harry Kane, and give him the space in behind sometimes and take the focus away from him. So we utilise him box crashing wise, as what I kind of similarly see with what Chelsea done with Enzo this season. They utilise a midfielder to be able to just pop up into those areas, get freedom, and have someone else take away the pressure of certain things. And the thing is, England have talent out wide. They've got Bukayo Saka coming back into the team now, so he's a focal point as well, where it takes away from things. Like, it's not just Jude and Harry Kane. We do have a lot of threat out wide, and yeah, like, we've got a solid defensive midfield, and it's hard to break down them two in front. And as we saw against Mexico, when we needed to put up a defensive display, they performed really well. So yeah, I just feel like Jude's definitely shut up all the haters in terms of what he's been questioned about in terms of previous England performances and previous performances over the past couple of years. But yeah, he's been special this tournament. And obviously with Harry Kane being up front, one of the best strikers in world football, you give him one chance, he's going to take it. But yeah, I just feel like the Mexico game is going to be, well, in hindsight, it's easy to say it now, but I think the Mexico game is going to be more difficult than what we have to play against with Norway, because Mexico are used to playing in their stadium. They play at their altitude thing, and I just feel like Mexico were a better side to play against at their ground than what Norway will pose. I feel like Brazil gave up all the possession in the world, and the way that Brazil set up, I felt like it was stupid for them to think that they can go into a game where they can play Casemiro with no legs and Bruno Guimaraes as a double pivot against a midfield three. And they played Martinelli in the 10. They're playing like real wingers in 10 areas where they literally give up the ball, and hence why Norway dominated. And I feel like that's why Brazil, if I was Brazilian, I'd be fuming about the way that my team was set up. But they were impressive against Brazil because of what they were given to take exploit of the midfield. But I just don't think they're going to get that against our midfield. So I feel like our game is probably going to be a bit easier than the Mexico game.
Yeah. What do you think about Erling Haaland, Sean? How much of a threat is this man causing you guys?
Well, we know what Erling Haaland is about, and obviously he doesn't need to have many touches in that game. And I feel like even against Brazil, he didn't necessarily have many touches, but you create for Erling Haaland and you put that ball into that area, and you give him a chance to get on the end of something, whether it be a first time volley across the body of, like, gets across the body of someone and gets a first time volley, or whether it be a header of out jumping someone. He does pose that threat against anybody, whether it be Dan Burns, 6'7", or whether it be Mark Guehi, his teammate. So yeah, I feel like Erling Haaland obviously poses that threat, and that's where we have to limit them as much as possible to be able to shut down Nusa out wide, which is one of their big threats out wide for creating for Erling Haaland. And obviously the young boy as well that they brought on the other day. I feel like, I don't know, maybe they're scratching their head thinking, do they start the young boy? What's his name? It's hard to pronounce. It's something Delup or something like that. Is the young boy that plays for is he at Ajax?
I can't remember. I'll just double check.
He got the 2 assists for Erling in the last game against Brazil. Pretty good forward, actually. I actually think he's quite good, to be honest. I'm surprised he hasn't been starting for them, but yeah, he's quite good. So we have to shut down those kind of areas of creativity for Erling Haaland. So I feel like we know what Odegaard's been about for the past year. Like, I don't think Odegaard's been the same kind of Odegaard that we saw in the past. So I don't think we have to worry about too much creativity coming from Odegaard. I think it's just going to be in those wider areas.
Hasib, this has been a challenge. We've been talking about this team for whole tournament, really. But even before the tournament kicked off, we were having our doubts about them. Some members of the podcast even believe that Thomas Tuchel is actually a spy for Germany. And he's not even supposed to be coaching this team. So
I wonder who that's from.
I'm sure you would know. But Hasib, what are we saying about this game, bro? Is this going to be
I just feel like,
as close as I think it will be?
I feel like it's going to be a close game. I feel like Norway, the way they've just approached this entire tournament, I feel like they're playing like a team that has nothing to lose, man. And I just feel like England has just so much pressure on them because they've got like a relatively easier route. And if they get knocked out against Norway, bro, and Sean would know this, the amount of mayhem on social media, the England would go on shutdown, bro. Yeah. So I feel like there's so much riding on England in every single game when it comes to, when it comes closer to the final, that like if they slip away the likes of Mexico or against the likes of Norway, it's going to be very, very long for like, a lot of people, and a lot of the players are going to get a lot of criticism. I feel like Norway's been dangerous. Yeah, you've got, Erling Haaland, you've got Martin Odegaard, you've got Patrick Berg in the midfield and whatnot. But like, I feel like the mentality of like nothing to lose. And then I don't think like they have nothing to lose, and they have so much quality on the pitch as well. Bro, Antonio Nusa is a menace, bro. He is absolutely amazing. He's probably got one of the goal of the tournaments. I forgot who he scored against, but like when he was on the left-hand side, he cut it on his right, dribbled into a play and banged the top right corner. He's an absolute nuisance. And then when you got Erling Haaland, he can come show out of nowhere. And then Martin Odegaard, it's not the same Martin Odegaard that you see at Arsenal. You see a Martin Odegaard a lot more deeper, a lot more of a work rate, more of a workhorse. And we've got Patrick Berg pulling the strings as well. He got a couple of assists this tournament. So this Norway side is a dangerous side. And the fact that the mentality is the most dangerous thing, that they've got nothing to lose, it's going to be really, really long for England, bro. But I feel like England, they do have the quality. Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, on paper, they've got the better players. But I don't know, man. I just have a feeling they might capitulate when it comes to being under the pressure, under the pump. But
England always find it hard. Like it's like they always they are so much like Chelsea. like they put me through stress, and it's like we never do it the easy way. We always do it the hard way, and we always look like we're struggling to get the result. We'll find a way to get the result, but we struggle some. I feel like the only game that I feel like we've only ever performed in is the round of 16 when we played Germany, when we smashed Germany. I feel like that's the only game in history of what I can remember. Like even Colombia, like when we played Colombia, like going to penalties, like whether they're a poor side. This is what I'm saying. We might be in a similar game like how we played against Colombia, where we ended up going to penalties, where we don't necessarily rate the opponents that much and we expect to win, and we just struggle. And it potentially could be like that against Norway. Norway's not scrub, so you have to be fearful of Norway. I just felt like that Mexico game just was all against us. I feel like the whole world wanted us to lose. I think the all South America. If you're talking about corruption, the all South American VAR room and stuff like that, I felt like as if we're up against this here. So yeah, like I just felt like the Mexico game might have been more difficult to us, but we'll see in it. Like we said, you think Patrick Berg's got quality, Odegaard's got quality, Noose has got quality, Haaland's got quality. So they have got quality to be able to create as well. So we just have to be fearful of that. And yeah, I just hope that we can find a way to just get the win today.
Shaun, what do you reckon? Score predictions, man.
For England?
Yeah.
Probably going to end up being 2-1, probably, or 1-0. I want to be. It's going to be a 1-goal deficit anyway. I don't think England will make it a 2-goal win, because we never do make it easy.
Now, Hasib and I spoke about this, but I really want to get Shaun's opinion on this. Shaun, if Haaland knocks out England after knocking out Brazil and getting 7 goals in this tournament, it's going to be his 8th goal or 9th goal probably. Where does this leave him amongst the old greats of strikers?
It's so difficult. Like Erling Haaland he's so early in his career as well. Like we all know what he's going to do numbers wise. We know what he's going to put up in terms of the history of goals. I think he's going to be probably going down as I think he might be the all-time ever top goal scorer in the history of football by the time he retires. And the respect he's going to get even more so for performing and delivering something like a semi-final for Norway is massive, because it's not like as if he plays for Brazil, he don't play for England, don't play for France, he plays for Norway, and he's still able to produce and be relied on by Norway, and just the single moments, like even what we see with Man City, like, and they're a dominant side, yet they give Haaland 1 or 2 chances, he takes it. So the fact that he's playing for Norway and still being able to produce, boy, if Erling finds his way to a final, boy, it would be a very big uncomfortable conversation that people would have to start putting Haaland into, because I know the football purists are never going to want to like talking about Erling Haaland, but we all have to understand there's positions, and positions are there for certain individuals to perform in a certain manner. They don't all have to be Iniesta, they don't all have to be Messi and be an alien. They can be proper centre forwards, and Erling Haaland is the definition of an old school proper centre forward, where he doesn't need to be involved in the game. Give him his chances and create for him, and he'll score. So yeah, it'll be a very uncomfortable conversation in terms of all time at the age that he's already at, to be able to even put him in that bracket now, rather than 4 or 5 years down the timeline.
Shaun, what could have been, man? I mean, he could have been wearing an England shirt instead of a Norway.
I mean, yeah, like, do you know what I mean? Even just even his YouTube videos and his banter and the way he talks and stuff like that, I'm just like flipping. Oh, he could have been English, but we say this. We say the same about Michael Elise. He's born down the road from me, like it's not far. So
mad.
Yeah, the loss of
bro.
Elise is a massive loss.
Well, Haaland was born in Leeds, bro. That's crazy, no? Like,
I know.
Madness.
But like with him, obviously his dad is like, obviously we can't expect, even though his dad had his full career over here and moved to here, we can't really expect Haaland to want to play for England. I'm actually more upset with Michael Elise, to be honest. But but what could have been if Haaland was then who knows? We've had Harry Kane for so long, and Harry Kane's always performed for us. So
it's so funny that you brought out Harry Kane. Do you reckon? Because I feel like whenever we talk about Harry Kane, he's one of the best strikers ever, to be honest. Probably arguably England's best striker ever. But there's always that thing. 2022 World Cup against France, he missed that penalty against Lloris. Not being able to deliver when it comes to big moments. How important is that game for Harry Kane and his legacy when it comes to international football?
Oh, it's massive. Everyone's always criticised Harry Kane for not being there in the big moments, and they've always criticised any England player to not be in there in the big moments, but especially Harry Kane. So I feel like Harry definitely, like, obviously we always just reference, oh, he's that top goal scorer, World Cup top goal scorer, but 4 goals come against like a Panama. Like, he's definitely not played the greatest of sides. Bit like up till now, it's quite similar to what he was in the past, where he's got the numbers at this stage of the tournament, but not playing many great sides. But definitely Harry Kane has to put up a performance, and like you said, it's like whether it's a goal or whether he finds the right pass, I feel like he has to execute either that goal or assist in this game. I feel like it's either this game, if it's not today and he doesn't perform, it definitely has to be in the next round. It's crunch time now, so quarterfinal, semi-final, final, you need to turn up. So yeah, Harry Kane definitely needs to perform on the big stage to be put into that bracket of, to be put in there in with the elites. You know what I mean? It's clutch moments that define great players. So he needs to be there. Like Kylian Mbappe at his young age has already shown that in World Cup finals and stuff like that. So there's no hiding for Harry Kane in terms of performing in a big stage game.
Massive opportunities, man, for both of them. And honestly, there's nothing like the World Cup, bro. There's nothing more intense, more legacy on the line. Like, it's just every game someone's defining their own legacy. Every game someone's like legacy is being torn apart, or like their opportunity to do something is ending. Yeah. It's such an intense tournament, and I can't believe it's almost over. There's like 9 days left of this tournament, but my goodness, man. We have been trying to upload every day, and we're going to continue trying to do that. Today was Suga Shaun. Yesterday was Boovy. Tomorrow, who knows? We might get someone else, but we're going to continue the uploads every single day until the tournament is over. Guys, make sure that you do encourage Suga Shaun here to come back to YouTube, because the ball knowledge is immense, and we need figures like this. I'm gonna say that. I swear, bro. We need these people here to go and encourage you on your YouTube channel, bro. So if you guys, we're gonna collab on this, obviously, but go on his socials, follow him, check out his YouTube channel. He hasn't uploaded in months, but go find the latest video.
I don't think I've uploaded in years.
Go find his latest video and show him some love, and hopefully we'll have him a lot more, inshallah, next season. And Hasib, thanks again for coming. Shaun, pleasure as always.
It's been a pleasure always, Azam and Hasib.
make sure you guys like, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell. We'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.
All my niggas, we intimidated. All my they intimidated. Burn City, we intimidating. Got my young boy, he intimidated. All my shooters, yeah, they really aiming with them cold niggas. We ain't got no patience. Money talks in my conversation. One niggas, they are imitated. Ask my dogs, we intimidated. Ask my bro, we intimidated. How you poppin', no niggas hating, and I play the whole to keep